Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a couple packages to open for you. So this one comes from Amazon. This is a package from a brand that hit me up on Instagram, 9TI, so 9TI-EDC. And this is the folding utility knife in G10 handle, heavy duty safety box cutter, razor knife, and EDC pocket knife with extra 10-piece blade. You can get this on Amazon. I will link it down below. Now, the cool thing with this is kind of the story behind it. Well, not the story behind it, but the story, whatever. So they hit me up on Amazon and they were like, hey, on Amazon. They hit me up on Instagram and were like, hey, so this broke. Would you want to check out our knife? And I looked at this and I said, yeah, sure. This looks just like the O knife utility knife. And they said, yeah, we made it for them. And I said, oh, okay. So these guys made the O knife utility blade, apparently. The one that came in that ply G10 carbon fiber. This feels a little different. This spring is wild. It's almost like, almost feels magnetic, sort of. So you have this screw right here, and this is, we've seen this a few times now. So you have that screw there, and then your blade, does it come out? Is there another screw you have to mess with? I don't think so. This? Oh, you're not going to want to undo a thumb stud, but apparently you may need to. So how do I get to that? Is my, oh, so there's a screw here. So the other thing is, did the other one have a thumb stud? I guess it did, huh? I don't have it anymore. I gave it away. But do you really have to remove that to get it off? So it also came with this little tool, which is pretty wild. So it's got like a little Phillips here. It's got a flathead here, some driver slots, wrench slot. Does it have anything that'll unscrew this? Because that would have been smart thinking, huh? So let's grab a driver. It's looking like a T8. T8. So, okay. That side doesn't have tooling, so I can't hold it or anything. And I think it's just spinning. Am I missing something dumb? So that I can bend. I mean, it looks like the stud is what's holding that in place, right? I'm not crazy. But there's nothing I can do to hold that other stud and keep it from spinning. I mean, I could get my Knipex out, but you shouldn't. Oops. You shouldn't need to do this to swap a blade, I would think, but we're gonna find out. So let's see if just a little pressure here will do it. Yep. All right. So let's see. I loosened it a little bit. I don't think it needs to come all the way out. There we go. So you can get the blade out that way. It comes with 10 extra blades. It comes with an extra little screw that does not have a logo on it, which is pretty cool. I would probably use that guy instead. I've seen some people use, it's not gonna work, so hold on. I've seen people use just regular body screws for that. So I need to get these to go in the other side. So that, whatever. It's very oily, so let me just clean my hands. So then you would slot this in, right? Like so. Put this guy in and spin it down like that. And then you would obviously want to tighten this. Yep. And now that I did it, it seems to be easy to do. So that's locked in there now. And then now I bet you I'll be able to just, yep, now I can do it without the Knippix. So I think mine was just, mine just had a little bit of Loctite or something on there that shouldn't have been on there. Yeah. And then you have the crossbar lock. And I remember really liking it on the O knife version, but the issue I had was it's not left hand clip reversible. They didn't flip the clip. Oh wait, this is loose already? See, that's why it has that extra retention back here, because that likes to come loose. But yeah, it flicks really well. I had no complaints about the flicky. It just only has the right-hand clip. It's a small little pocket utility blade. I mean, I really like it. Yeah, it's not loose. I think maybe I didn't tighten that all the way down. Something wasn't lined up. But spring is good in there. Drops down. Flicks out. Studs are solid. Yeah, it's cool. Ergonomics are good. You have a little flat spot up here. Easy to use little utility blade. Honestly, this would be a really good box opener to have just right around here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it on my desk, and it'll be my little utility blade for package opening. And then I'll give this away. It's a little fish multi-tool thing. So cool. Thank you to 9ThaiEDC. I'll link this down below if you guys are interested in checking it out. And I'm going to open this package from... Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Open this package from Blade Capone. So, if you guys follow me, you would have seen on my stories or my post that Blade Capone had a really good deal going last week for Sharp by Design knives. So let me just check. Yeah. Just making sure there's no invoice or anything like that. There's nothing in there. So, Blade Capone posted last week. He said, you know, these knives are great for $300. And they had the Sharp by Design Mini Evo on there with Nebula Fat Carbon drop point for $300. And I was like, hot damn. And then I remembered I have a discount code for Blade Capone. So if you go over to bladecapone.com and you pick up anything over $100, you can use the code LeftyEDC and you'll get 10% off that order. So I put this in my cart. I added the code. I got this for $270. A Sharp by Design Mini Evo for $270. That's an absolute steal. So here's a Blade Capone card. Check him out. Good dude. He sells Jack Wolf, all types of cool stuff. Definitely worth a follow. And look at that. This has to be the steal of the year. Now, I think I bought it in 2023, so it was the steal of last year, not this year, because this year just started, so wouldn't really be the best steal now, would it? The one thing I've never loved about Sharp by Design is the clip. It's always a little bit pokey, and it is tight as fuck, but I may just try to adjust that myself. Flipper tab. See how we do on here. Okay, we got the Brian Nadeau nub. And it's got the nub system. So it'll have that kind of poppity click sound. Now, they usually take a minute to break in. You know, the bearings have to break in. And most importantly, that detent system has to break in. So if I remember correctly on the prototypes, because I got to handle the prototypes earlier in 2023, the drop points had better detents, in my opinion. And the Tantos had drop shut action. So those would just glide shut because they had a heavier blade. But the drop points would really fire out. Now, I only handled, you know, a couple. But you can see it has a pretty stout detent. Doesn't feel necessarily that stout, but I think I'm being a little picky here because yeah, I mean, if I ride it, it'll just fling out and it'll lock up. It's not overpoweringly strong, which is what I normally prefer, but if I just give it a pop, it really does fire. So I think I prefer that because otherwise I think the flipper tab would actually hurt, which was one of the complaints I've had in the past. So I really can't have it both ways, can I? The build quality is phenomenal. It just feels, it's a Sharp by design. I mean, it's extremely lightweight. It's got that beautiful contoured titanium with these amazing inlays. Riot knocks these out of the park. Don't love the clip, like I said, but we'll see how it goes in pocket. I do carry these in a single seam kind of pocket since it's right-handed. You have this beautiful hand satin. And I do prefer the drop point aesthetically on this model. I go back and forth depending on models. Like on the Slim Mini, I prefer the Tanto. Ergonomically, yeah, it's really comfortable. I do have that point on the clip, which is why I complain about it, because I'm left-handed, and I get hit with that point. I probably could just take it to, I could just sand that down or something. Maybe use a piece of sandpaper and knock that edge off. But yeah, otherwise it feels good in the hand, but it's right there. I always wonder why he puts the clips on the back side and not just straight down the center, where I think my hand would be less likely to scrape on it, but I don't know. You can't really choke up, don't really have a flipper choil because it's such a pronounced flipper. Beautiful hand satin, I may have mentioned already. Pretty sure it's M390 steel. Don't know if it says that anywhere. One of the things I've, always kind of griped on with the Brian Nadeau detent system is you inherently are going to get some detent lash. It's not the same thing as detent lash, but I can rock to the point where I can even get it to come out of the handle a little bit before it fires. That's just a trade-off situation, but you get such a clean break that it doesn't feel really like detent lash, and I don't think you can shake it like detent lash. No, you can't shake it like that. You can just play with it's kind of like a strong spring on a button lock. You can do that too. Man, this thing is clean, isn't it? Super small too for Nadeau, and it's perfect for my hand. Fits great in the hand. Thin grind. Yeah, they did a great job on these. He crushes, man. Just if you want to talk about functional art, I think Brian Nadeau's production knives are probably some of the best, man. Just such a great example of a designer, a maker. He's a maker, but in this case, designer really dialing in the CAD file for the OEM. Like, he sends them, it must be such a detailed CAD file. He doesn't leave them room for interpretation, if you know what I mean. Because that's where you get in trouble. You leave them room for interpretation, and then, well, they interpret. It doesn't have the clickiest closing sound, so it's a little thuddery. Hear that? Kind of vibrates a little bit. I wish it had more of a positive click. Definitely my preference, but you can see it's already breaking in. I mean, it's already trying to swing down a little bit more versus requiring a lot of shaking. See if I can flick it. Eh, not really. You can kind of flick it. I always wondered why he doesn't just make it more pronounced. For those of us who like to flick knives, it would just be a slight change to raise that up. Just bring it up a little bit. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's the Mini Evo from Sharp by Design. You guys let me know what you think down below. It was one of those that I just couldn't pass up, you know. It's a knife I really always wanted last year. I just didn't want to dish out 400 bucks for it. I've been on the verge of buying it a couple times. I think I would still prefer the Purple Haze version of it versus this, but 270 bucks was just like no-brainer material for me on this. We'll see how long it sticks around and all that goodness, but no doubt an excellent knife. Excellent knife. So I don't think I'll put skips in it either, because I mean it's rock solid. The action's already fantastic. I don't see what I would be able to accomplish. You know, maybe putting a slight bit of pressure on the lock bar. See if it's engaging all the way. Looks like it's engaging. Trying to see. The fact that I can't see is probably the answer. That it's fully engaged. And I'm talking about the detent nub into the blade. Yeah, I think it's good. And it usually only get better too. So you can usually give it a couple of these. Just kind of push down as it pops in. And if it's not fully engaging, that'll usually solve that if it's right there. But I'm pretty sure this one's good to go. Look at that. Yeah, it's just got a little bit of a rattle when it closes. I don't like that. That's just something, man, that comes down to minutia in production. But you'll get some knives that clickety-click, and you'll get some that don't. And when acoustics is high on your list of priorities, you know, it can bug some people. Sometimes I can get over it. So, yeah, very cool. All right, I'm going to shut up. So that's the Mini Evo from Sharp by Design and the 9 tie EDC folding utility knife. You might see another video on this one. I don't know about this guy, but it may be the unboxing knife of the channel now, since it's pretty usable in that sense. So let me know your thoughts. Links down below to both of these. If Brian still has any of these, I will link it, and you can use that code Lefty10 for the discount over there. He had some other stuff like tactile knives and whatnot also around that 300 price point, so check that out. But I love you guys. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.